Little Shits and Giggles, the podcast where we talk shit about our little shits. I'm Mama Chaos.
And I am Jason Quinn.
How are you doing, Jason?
Oh man. I'm doing all right. Been a crazy, hectic period of time. What are you eating?
I'm eating steak.
Damn. Dear listeners, she is eating steak out here. She's living the high life. Okay. And that's what
I'm
it's all
living the
about.
life. My
Um,
husband made it for me. It's so good.
where's mine, Adam? That's all I'm about, you know?
I'm even lucky he's sharing.
Facts. But it's been good. It's been an interesting time. We haven't gotten to touch base a whole lot in the last little while because like even though we record this show, we usually to our audience, like Miranda and I usually spend like, or Mama Chaos for the rest of you who just are learning her name is Miranda, um, have usually spend like at least 20 to 30 minutes on the phone at least every day, just kind of going over shit, whether it's talking about the podcast, whether it's just bullshitting about the kids, talking about TikToks, whatever it is. We usually spend about 20 minutes on the phone each day, probably, if not more in some cases.
At a
So
time.
yeah, and sometimes it's 3 or 4 times throughout the day where we get a break from the kids and we're like, all right, so this is, we just kind of fucking pressure dump on all of the bullshit that we've been going through and just kind of vent to each other. And it works. But we have not had a whole lot of chance to do that. And that's a weird thing. It's been a hot minute. So
It has been chaotic, dude. Super chaotic. Like I told you my youngest child, she grabbed my phone in the middle of the night the other night and ended up calling the police at like 3:30 in the morning, had them banging at our door. They thought that like they were dealing with like an overdose or something because that's probably pretty rampant around
right.
here. Like for anybody listening, West Virginia is really bad about overdoses and, real bad about that shit. Anyways, she ended up calling 911 and they're like, can we talk to your mommy or your daddy? And she's like, I can't wake them up. So,
Oh man.
yeah.
Oh.
So that
Oh
was
my
pretty
God.
embarrassing. And then my
And the
oldest,
whole, can you imagine though, like the 911 call, like whoever they're talking to is like, oh my God, like I'm now dealing with like a child who's parentless.
yeah, which happens all the time around here,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And I
God.
couldn't imagine like being on the other end of that call and then it finding out like it's nothing. But apparently it happens all the time, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. But they advised against that. So
Right. Yeah, man, that is crazy. I have had an opportunity. I've had an instance where somebody had thought that I had OD'd, as a matter of fact. Me and my ex, when we were together, were on a car trip and we pulled over to sleep in a parking lot, and all the kids were asleep. We had locked the doors, you know what I mean? We had everything all on lock, and we just kind of pulled in and we were just kind of taking like a quick snooze before we got on the road. And fucking as soon as like a couple minutes into us sleeping, whatever, knocking on the window, they're thinking, these people have passed out, they've got kids in the car, whatever, you know what I mean? And then we pop up, we're like, nope, we're just tired. Like,
man,
so I can only imagine that what that, man, that is a crazy situation. I never thought about it from that standpoint, because I'm just thinking about it from your standpoint of like, my kid just accidentally called the police and now I'm having to deal with it at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm asleep. And you're like, no, everything is cool. Like,
yeah, like it's funny and it's it's fun to laugh about it, and I could be embarrassed about it, but
right.
also like the reality of it is that happens all the time, unfortunately, and
Yeah.
that life.
And so if on that note, if you are listening to this show and I, and you do have a struggle with addiction, There are a large number of numbers out there that you can call in any given state. I know has different ones. So if you are struggling with that, I know this time of year is especially hard for people, and we're not here to judge in any way, shape, or form. But if you want help, make sure that you get that. And if you're listening and we're the people that are telling you, whatever it is, just please get yourself some help, and we hope the best for you.
Exactly.
So back to our regularly scheduled random bullshit that we talk about. Um, another what the fuck happened to me? So this we record episodes kind of like in advance for anybody that doesn't know. We That's just how it works. And so in my time, I literally just celebrated my birthday with my kids this week. And so from that standpoint, it was this is the most special birthday I've ever had.
Yeah. What'd you do?
Um, Not a lot, honestly. We opened presents and stuff at the house, and but like my kids went out and they they bought me things. And here's the thing. So every other time, every other year, if you get a present from your child, it is, mom's money, grandma's money, somebody else's money, right? My
Right.
son in July got money for his birthday, put it up, and bought me a birthday present that he saved for 6 months from
Oh,
me.
wow. What was it?
I'm a big nerd, so he got me Iron Man's Infinity Gauntlet. Um,
Nerd.
yeah, yeah, no, huge nerd. But I gotta say, I literally don't own a single thing that is more important to me than that gauntlet at this point. Like the fact that like I meant that much to him, you know what I mean? For him to take, because he could have easily gotten something for himself, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just as easily, and I would have never thought anything different, you know what I mean? But like I've struggled with this particular child a lot throughout my life, and like our lives together, it's been a constant struggle. So that, like, I'm kind of tearing up right now. I'm sure you can kind of see it, but like, that meant the world to me. And then I a lot of my so nothing against other people in my family, but for the most part, most people don't know a lot about me, honestly. I In my family, they know one thing, and that it's that I like the Nightmare Before Christmas. So a good portion of the things that I've always gotten my entire life since I was 16 years old have been Nightmare Before Christmas theme, and that's fine. I love the Nightmare Before Christmas, so but to learn that my kids do fucking know me, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that that fucking hit. Like he got me the Infinity Gauntlet. My kids got me the Avatar the Last Airbender map, and they got me Avatar the Last Airbender socks, and like they got me, this is a Punisher hat that they got me and stuff. So it's like
That's awesome.
it was like, not only did I mean something, like it that fucking just meant the world to me. Like just and then on top of that, I cannot honestly think of a time where my birthday was ever decorated for, right? Because it's so close to Christmas. It's only 5 days away from Christmas. So my birthday has never been a thing that was really all that decorated for,
Right.
that I can remember. But they bought me Mario decorations, and they hung up Mario decorations, and they had plates and stuff. And it, like, they just like, this is what my kids wanted for me. And obviously my girlfriend and her sister helped them put that together. But I've never felt more important.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Shit. I get uh artwork and stuff that happens to be unrecognizable after about 3 months of heavy wear and tear, you know? That's normally what I get for my birthday, but I absolutely enjoy it because I'm not really a materialistic type of person. I don't really have anything that I collect except for horses. And because we're living at my parents' house right now, I really don't have any space to put anything.
Right.
So my kids, I would much rather have like a day doing stuff with them for my birthday than having like gifts. But like the fact that like they'll always come with handwritten cards or something that I can hang up on the refrigerator, that always means a lot to me.
Yeah, I've always usually gotten those, and I know that a good portion of the stuff that I got was just my girlfriend and her sister just doing those things for me and helping the kids do what they wanted to do. But like, I don't know, something about it, it felt super meaningful. And I did get a lot of I did get I got a card. I got a piece of paper with little flowers with each one of my kids' names written on it that my daughter made me. And I got a and those are the things that like mean a lot to me in general. Like those types of things, when I get those, that's the stuff that I'm going to always hold on to and cherish. The other materialistic things that I have, I love them, but like they don't really, like, if they die in a fire, it is what it is. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But like now I had, like, now that Infinity Gauntlet, which is a materialist, thing that I have, means something on that level. So
Right.
that was like a cool, like, that's a very special thing for me. So I'm really excited about that. And it was just really nice to feel, all that love, and so other than that, as soon as I was done opening my birthday presents, all of my kids decided that they wanted to be assholes, and they were like, what if like, now that it's like when the presents were open, they're like, the birthday's done now, like your part, like we were about you having like a great birthday up until this point, and then as soon as that happened, that they were like, all right, you saw what we got you, now get ready for the punishment. And then like,
You ain't getting any younger, Dad. Let's go.
oh yeah, like they're like constant, like bouncing off the walls, jumping on each other, pushing each other down. And it's like, dude, can you, like, for 2 seconds, I'm like, can I at least enjoy, like, I didn't even get any of this stuff out of the package yet, like, you know what I mean, like, let me at least, take the tags off of my hat, you know what I mean, before
Right.
we're fighting me and each other. And that's the thing, like, it's always like, they're like, and then they compete too, they're like, well, I got you the better thing. And it's like, no, like, there isn't a better thing, you know what I mean, not that, like, none of the stuff is better than anything else, you know what I mean, obviously the Infinity
Except for the
Gauntlet,
Infinity
the
Gauntlet.
Infinity Gauntlet does mean a lot to me, but it's because of like where that came from, you know what I
I
mean,
get it. I
right,
get it.
you know what I'm saying, but like none of it really, like, aside from that aspect of it, is any better than anybody else's stuff, you know what I mean, it's all fantastic, love it all, but like,
Yeah.
everything has to be a fucking competition, man, everything.
Oh, yeah. I did it. So I was an only child growing up. I didn't really understand this a whole lot. And then I married my husband, and he is one of four kids, and it's always a competition with them. And then, like, we have three kids, and everything is a competition. And let me tell you something, my youngest one, she's the winner. It doesn't matter what it is. She's going to be kicking the shit out of her older two sisters. And the oldest one is 9, and she's getting the shit kicked out of her by a 2-year-old. Like, I swear this little bitch can throw a punch. She's like Ronda Rousey reincarnated, and Ronda is still here. Like, we now have two of them on this planet.
I,
Like,
I'm not convinced that Rousey could take her. Honestly, I'm not sure. I, I've
no.
I've seen your daughter in action in small snippets, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Somebody's
no,
gonna have a problem on their hands there.
she's strong, she's fast, she's nimble, and you can't get her. She's like constantly greasy, but she's not greasy. Like,
Mm,
you know what I mean?
they're
Like,
always
if you would,
slippery.
yeah, like if you had a greased up pig and you were trying to
Mm.
catch it, that's the equivalent of trying to catch my 2-year-old.
Yeah, and you don't know why. You know what I mean? You're not like 100% sure why they're always like that, but that is the case. Like my 2-year-old is not like that, but my fourth down, right? So my middle daughter, when she was in that age, 100%. Like
Yeah.
my middle daughter reminds me, like your youngest reminds me of my middle daughter a lot, and she's like obviously she's older now, and she I call her a I tell everybody she's a loose cannon. I call her Detective Lena LeBug. She's a loose cannon, but she's a pleasure to have on the force. Um, but she's absolutely, she gets results. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that she's after, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. That's pretty much my youngest. I mean, my two youngest ones to a T. My oldest daughter, like, she's very smart and stuff like, but like book smart. She's very book smart. But when it comes to like using her brain to figure out like simple solutions to something, she can't do it. I don't know what it is. I think it's because she's a Gemini and she can't make a decision on something. I don't know. But oh my gosh.
All the
And then,
Geminis in the chat are like, oh, ho, ho, whoa, whoa.
I mean, you can't argue with me, okay? A Gemini is impossible. You can't get them to make a decision, okay? It they're multiple people wrapped up in one. Like obviously they're not going to agree on everything. But also, my oldest daughter, this is a little bit off topic, but still my oldest daughter, um not she got me on the like no entry list to her school just about um
Some people, some people have no fly lists. Like, like you're the only person that I know of that, as a parent, has gotten on the hey. Like, unless you
well,
have to, like, don't come to the
well,
school.
I mean, pretty much everybody listening to the podcast has probably saw my video go about, where my daughter got her books stolen. Well,
Mm,
I sent a note to school and I was like, listen, I understand that I wasn't there. Like some things could be, misconstrued, but this is what I've heard. And my daughter told me that the teacher didn't believe her whenever she said that it was her book. And I don't like that a lot. And I said, this boy took her book. It is her book and she needs it back in her hands. And I said, you need to take care of this before I take care of it. And they took that as a threat.
yeah,
And
like bring it down here.
I meant it as like, I'm going to go there and like make a scene, like a Karen, I'm going to go all Karen all on this fucking school. But they took it as me going like all Ted
They
Bundy
were
on
like,
them or
they're like,
something.
I'm finna. They thought you were about to air that place out, just like
Yeah. I'm like, that is not me. I'm sorry. But like they had like the director of security for the entire school board, like for the whole county, contact me. And luckily, he used to be a police officer with my dad. And I grew up with him. So, like, not grew up with him, but like I grew up in
right.
the police department and he was there. So he's like, Miranda, you need to tone it down just a little bit. We are going to be getting your daughter's book back. So there's that. Also, if it wasn't for me trying to calm everybody down, you wouldn't be allowed back into that school. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? And he was like, yeah, no. He's like, they took it as a threat. And I'm like, fuck them. He's like, yeah, that's probably not the right thing to say.
Wait, maybe we should back that one down a little bit. Let's.
I was pissed off, but like at the same time, I was like, you know what? It's 2022. It's like 2022, so like I get it. Like you never really know. You
For
can't be
sure.
too cautious when it comes to these kids. So I get it.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, like me being on the receiving end of like a misunderstanding, it just pisses me off. It doesn't matter who's involved. I'm always mad whenever I'm misunderstood.
I get it. I get it.
You know
So,
why? I think it's because my mom and I are so much alike and we
mm,
bumped heads all the time whenever I was young. So like whenever I would have an attitude, I would try to like hide it. And my mom's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. And she's like, well, what's wrong? I'm like, I swear it's nothing. And obviously it was something, but I'm like, you just misunderstand me, mom. Like a typical teenager, And
dudes
like,
just don't understand, guy. Come
yeah,
on.
typical teenager, always misunderstood, and that was me. And I think that anytime now somebody is like they don't understand where I'm coming from, or they think that I'm one way and I go a different way and they're like, "Who are you?" That always pisses me off. Like,
I I I understand that. Man, my teenage angst was hard. I had the fucking, the whole little emo bang deal.
I can see that.
I was out there with the whole deal, and it's more than a phase or whatever. But so I was
Where are you?
and I'm so sorry. I cannot sleep. I cannot breathe tonight. I need somebody and always.
Oh my god. You
That's
need
for
to do
free.
you need to do a photo shoot with like the goth makeup, like the eyeliner
I
coming down.
I did that. I have old photos of me in my, because I was the lead singer of an emo band.
You need to do it with your kids. Like all of your kids dress up like as the emo kids, you know?
There we go. My kids, my oldest daughter, I don't know. She'd be like down, but then I don't know if she'd be, because she's like so prissy in her, like the way she like dress. She had like I'm telling you, Jesus Christ. Now my shit's never gonna be manageable again. Whatever, we're gonna be emo for the rest of the podcast.
Go
Um
for it.
anyway, so they like she's the only person that I've ever met that if I gave her the opportunity, she would wear a ball gown like everywhere, like 100%.
Yeah. That's my middle daughter. My middle daughter can wear a dress all the time. She wanted to wear a spaghetti strap dress like out in the middle of the snowstorm today. And I was like, no, dude, you can't do that. I'm sorry. She's like, but I want to be Elsa. And I'm like, but Elsa's the cartoon, damn it. You're a real fucking person. Hypothermia exists in the real world. I'm sorry. You can't fucking wear that dress. And meltdown, we never did go outside. So
I I had I honestly want to say it was my son that said this to me, but like because he thought he was, I think one of my kids at one point in time thought they were Elsa, and I had that excuse of the cold doesn't bother me anyway used on me like several times. And like they would have like the little Elsa dress, and then they'd be like, the cold, like I've got, like it's like a superpower. You know what I mean? They're like, I put this on, I'm invincible to the cold. I don't know if you know this,
yeah.
Dad, but I'm Elsa now. So there's no such thing as frostbite. Okay. You can tell them that it doesn't bother me. I'm out here. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah, no, no, I remember. So, like, I always forget how long ago the first Frozen came out. But like, my oldest daughter was just a toddler when it came
Yeah.
out, and I remember she was obsessed with Elsa there for a minute. And she had the Elsa dress on, and she had this little wand, and it was snowing outside, and it was like a blizzard. But every time she would point that wand at the window, the snow would just go a different way, and she thought she was in control of the weather. And the first time that happened, her eyes got so big, and she was like, "Mommy, I can control the weather!" And she's over there in the window. And then finally, whenever it wasn't working no more, she started crying. She's like, "Mommy, I think my magic is dead." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but yeah, you killed it. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but you killed the magic."
Magic stuff. Damn. Yeah. No, man, I remember I've even made videos with my daughters, like trying to like various Elsa themed things, because it was just the only thing that they were into for like the longest time. It was just Frozen.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you guys want to try out anything else? You want to try? Maybe we can do some Tangled a little bit. Like, and when you got Tangled, they were like, yeah, fine, I'll watch Tangled, or like, fucking, Princess and the Frog, whatever. Like when you got to sneak in one of those, you're like, I am a god today. Like this is the best day of my life. I'm rocking with Finn today. You know what I'm saying?
My kids
I'm
have
not
been
Sven, I'm Finn up in here.
my kids have been on a fucking SpongeBob kick for the last few weeks. And like, don't get me wrong, I love SpongeBob, okay? I grew up with SpongeBob, but like all day, every day, having to listen to that, Oh my God, it's giving me a headache sometimes. Yeah, I can't do it. The only impression that I can do is Patrick. And we were watching the one where SpongeBob had the uh mermaid man belt shrink and everything. And Patrick was like, well, there's your problem. You gotta set to mini. You gotta have it set to Wumbo.
Wumbo.
I love that episode. And my kids is hilarious because they're starting to get that movie or show quote disease that me and my husband have.
Same.
uh Everyday conversation, if somebody says something that reminds you of a movie, you just quote that movie. And my daughter and my husband will go back and forth. My husband, he's like, welcome to the salty spittoon, how tough are you? And my daughter's like, how tough am I? I ate a bowl of nails for breakfast without any milk.
Without any. That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's some of my favorite moments is just like listening to my kids quote movies all the time, like that, or SpongeBob, and then they quote Shrek all the time. They love Shrek and Lion King and uh obviously Frozen, but
Right.
every now and again I'll get them quoting like Family Guy or something, and that always cracks me up. Completely inappropriate shit too, and
Hey, it
should
is
not
what
be
it is.
saying that at 4 years old, but here she is.
So it sucks. Like my kids, my kids usually do a pretty good job of censoring themselves when I cuss. Like if I go tell my kid, like go tell your brother I'm gonna beat his ass, like they do the like, you know, I'm gonna beat his butt kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
But it's so funny when they're toddlers and they don't have that yet, like before they've learned, like, hey, we gotta, you know, these are adult words kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I'll beat your ass, dad. And you're like, whoa, hold the fuck up. Like, whoa, you're like,
Yep.
hold the
I mean, shit, all three of my kids' first words were cuss words. And now, like my two youngest ones will go back and forth, like, I'm going to whip your ass. And I mean, they have like some weird country accent. Like, I get it. I have somewhat of a hillbilly accent sometimes. But whenever they're shit talking one another, it's like they're straight out of like Louisiana or something. They start like speaking, what is it that they is the super southern
oh,
Louisiana,
I do not know.
Baton Rouge,
Cajun,
Cajun. Yeah, that's what it sounds like almost with them. You can barely understand them because, the youngest one,
right?
she can barely speak anyways.
Right.
But the words that you can make out are the cuss words. So, like, she'll be like, I'm ass, and then fuck you.
You're like, whoa, 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 whoa,
Hold on, hold on. Who are we motherfucking right now?
whoa. Whoa. Let's back down a little bit here. This is
Me?
intense. Yeah.
Me? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Do you know that you're only 3 feet tall? Huh? I could take you. And then she's like, "Pacha, pacha, pacha," and then takes me out, and I like fall apart. I pull a muscle. I'm like, oh man, she got me this time.
Right.
I gotta have time to stretch next time.
Yeah.
Give me a
Maybe
warning
I'll
before you whip my ass.
yeah, maybe I'll get it in. You know what I mean? I'll get a couple of stretches in. Let me get a couple of jumping jacks. You know what I'm saying? I slept wrong because your foot was up my ass last night. So forgive me if my back's a little cranky. I have gotten to past the stage where my bone or my fucking whole muscles aren't jelly. You know what I mean?
I never realized how old I'm getting. Like, I don't realize how old I'm getting until like I try to move quickly and I either can't, or like I can't move quickly for the next 3 days because I've pulled something or popped something out of place, you
For
know?
sure. Yeah, I
Oh my
broke up a
God.
dog fight 3 weeks ago. My shoulder still fucking hurts. I
At least you're out of that cast.
Yeah, I'm out of the cast. I'm out of the little cast. I got a little little stitches here. It still hurts. You know what sucks though? It feels like, you know how you can pop your fingers like this and like, okay, so it feels like that, like it's like it needs that, but I can't do it. And
Uh,
it sucks and I can't, it's like stuck in that perpetual state.
I
But
mean, if it
actually
helps.
it'll be all right. It'll be all
It'll be all right. I mean, if it helps any, my back feels the exact same way. Like, you know how you could twist to crack your back? So, like, I'll twist and my back will pop. And as soon as I get like as far as I can go, my back is like, you can do it. You could do it just a little bit further. I'm right there and I can't do it. Like it feels like I want to break in half. I'm going to sever my spinal cord because I have this one vertebrae that's not wanting to pop.
Right.
I'm almost willing to go like completely paralyzed if it means that I don't have to deal with this pain in my back anymore.
I know that I've felt that way sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I understand the irrational behavior behind that thought process.
Yeah.
100%.
Like I'm almost to the point where I'm like, I would gladly take a 3-day coma just so that I could relax for
Ooh,
that long.
you get like a chill coma, just like a mild coma.
A mild coma, one where like I don't have to have the tube down my throat, you know?
Yeah, just like you know what I mean. You wake up and you're like, oh, I could probably use some water.
Yeah, like you wake up and you're like, "Oh my God, I just shit my pants," because you have all of that uh shit built up. And then once you're back up and moving around, your digestive system is like all over the place. I'm ready for that.
Well, I hope that you get the chance to shit on yourself at some point in time.
I
Um,
mean, I've come very close this past week, but I haven't done that yet.
you
And
did just it wasn't like a week, it was like not long ago that you fucking fell in your own piss while you were trying
yeah,
to sit on the toilet.
yeah, it was not that long ago. And that was pretty fun. I gotta say, it was like a slip and slide, but inside while it was cold outside. Like I'm always down. Like I'm always down for an adventure. I'm more of a thrill seeker, so riding that piss slide all the way down to the floor. It
Oh
was
dear
fun,
God. Well, if you guys have made it this far into the podcast, then you clearly enjoy this show. And,
obviously.
and if you do, make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the bell to get notifications for when we post. If you're listening on or watching on YouTube, make sure you give us a rating, give us a like, leave us comments. If you're watching on YouTube, comment on this. I don't care what you like. Comment fucking anything. You know what I'm saying?
Comment what your favorite food is. Like favorite food combination.
Okay, like Frosties and Wendy's fries. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, so we want to know that. Tell us your Frosties and Wendy's fries. You know what I mean? Tell us what's up.
But
And
if
if
it's like kiwis on pizza, don't fucking do it.
yeah, don't you know what I mean? Let that one go to the grave. You know
Have
what I
some
mean?
respect. Jeez.
Have some respect for yourself. It's like that guy they put broccoli on pizza in fucking Inside Out. Way to go, San Francisco! You ruined pizza.
I love that movie.
Lewis Black's amazing. Anyway,
I love it.
um,
Anyways,
but yeah, if you're doing that, make sure you subscribe, like all of that good jazz. Another little aside, right? We also have a Facebook page, so go like that. You can get updates on there. And then we have a Facebook group. That's a little bit more of an intimate setting. You can come talk to us. You can come hang out with us. You can come meet other people who are fans of the show or who are parents and maybe exchange some advice, get to know each other and build that fucking community, that village that we really all need here. So do that. Join that shit. Like the page.
another way that we build that community is by reading emails that other parents send in, talking about their shit show of a life that we call parenthood. And if you have a story that you would like us to read on this podcast, go ahead and send it to likemindsdm@gmail.com. Like minds as your brain, D as in this shit's gotta go, and M as in mama tada.
Yep. Send
At
it there.
gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Send it there for all those things. And we did not get any stories on this week because it's just been such a long time since you and I had gotten to talk to each other. But we were definitely going to do stories next week. So tune in next Monday and listen to another exciting episode of Little Shits and Giggles.
And I hope you guys have a great week. And I'm Mama Chaos. By the way, follow me on TikTok. Follow Mr. Jason Quinn as well.
Yeah, I'm on there.
You all stay classy. We'll see you next week.
Later.